On today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our small contracts project. Let's have a look at what we're going to be going over today. And today we're back inside of our Moccasin project, our Moccasin module. We should be starting a new section inside of this module here called interfaces. Let's move up so we can actually get to the. Here we go here. So you can see here interfaces. Interfacing is in Viper is a way to define a contract's external functions without providing their implementation. Interfaces are useful for interacting with other contracts as they allow us to define the functions we want to call without needing the full contract code. Here's an example of an interface for an ERC20 token contract. So you can see here we have our interface. This is our token here, ERC20. These are its functions. You can see here we have our total supply function, which is going to be an integer view only, meaning we can actually view it, just view it. We can't make any changes to it or do anything else with it. We can just view it. Same thing with the balance of function. With this transfer function here, you can see here it's going to be a bool, so it's going to be a true or false on top of an integer. And then this is going to be a non-payable, so I'm assuming it's going to be, if it's a non-payable, it's going to be true. If it's a payable, it's going to be false. Then we have here our allowance function, which is going to be view only. Then we have our approve function, which is also going to be a payable, non-payable, boolean. Then we have our transfer from function. And these are all the parameters for all the functions inside of this token here. So in this example, we define an interface called ERC20 with 6 functions that are part of an ERC20 token contract. Each function has its name, parameters, return type, and mutability specified, as we just went over. So we can then use this interface to interact with an ERC20 token contract by creating a variable of type ERC20 and calling its functions. For example, we can say ERC20 token. This will be our variable. You can see this will be of type ERC20, and then we're going to assign it this contract here with this address of ERC20, and then this is going to be the address we assign it to. Let's move down so we can get a better look at what's going on. So in this example, we create a variable called ERC20 token of type ERC20 and assign it the address of an existing ERC20 token contract. We can then call the functions defined in the interface on this variable to interact with the contract, like we just went over here. So basically, we assume that this address here is calling this contract here, which gives us the allowance of interacting with these 6 functions from this contract. So basically, this is how we would do that. We would have our token here, our variable. We would assign it a type ERC20 token, and then we would assign it the ERC20 contract and its address, which would be this here. And this that would allow us to interact with these 6 functions because we actually, in effect, we're interacting with the address of this contract. So basically, that's what that is right there. It's our interfaces, and I know we're pretty backed up on this module here. We have been working heavy on the Super Saiyan project and your trading bots, but we will start diving back into our small contracts more and more often. So stay tuned for that. But of course, I will keep you posted every step of the way. For now, this is the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.